Kent Eskridge, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes. Kent.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Kent Eskridge. I'm a full professor in the Department of Statistics at UNL. I've been on faculty for 38 years. My area of expertise is agricultural statistics. My purpose of being here today is to make the Regents Board aware of some of the problems with the metrics that are being used for UNL budget reductions process. As you probably know, my Department of Statistics is recommended to be eliminated. The discipline of statistics is focused on using good data to make solid conclusions. We in statistics have tried to reproduce the calculations and the analyses of our department given to us by the Chancellor's team, but we have run into many problems. Here I will focus on one of them, and that is faulty data. This is important since faulty data lead to faulty conclusions. Given the consequences of these faulty conclusions and the lack of cooperation of the Chancellor's team, I found it very important to come here today. I have not yet been given access to any of the data that would be needed to fully vet the process, so let me just give some examples that are most egregious. Across UNL, there's a systematic overcount of the number of full-time employees in the unit, combined with a systematic undercount of the unit's performance measures. For most of the performance measures, the 10-year period, 2014 to 2023, was used. All faculty on UNL's budget in fall 2024 were included in the review. For our department, this excluded 3 of our 12 faculty members. In addition, during the review period, some of our faculty retired and others joined us and then left. All those expenses were included, but none of their performances were included. When we made the administration aware of the oversight, we were told every unit is treated the same way. Well, this is assuring, but it doesn't help any of the smaller units like ours, where these changes are less easily absorbed than in bigger units. The procedures state that any unit affected will be given timely access to the data that went into the decision. We still do not have access to what we would need to properly vet the numbers. Again, faulty data lead to faulty conclusions. My department and I strongly urge the Board of Regents to ask UNL to pause the budget reduction process until these issues are resolved. We also ask the Board of Regents to require statistical oversight from an external set of statisticians with PhDs or professional statisticians accredited by the American Statistical Association to participate in the process. Some 70 faculty positions will be eliminated. This will greatly hurt our students, our university, and our state. In this light, it is essential for the administrators not to make mistakes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hiki Hoffman, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
Members of the board, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak regarding the use of faulty data and faulty metrics in the UNL budget process. My name's Hiki Hoffman. I'm a full professor in the Department of Statistics. So I'm a statistician. I'm trained to do data analysis. I teach how to make quantitative-based decisions. I also teach ethical use of data. I'm one of the 3 hires that UNL made in the statistics department last year. So I'm showing up in the evaluation as a budget item, but none of my professional performance is included. My colleague already mentioned that. I just wanted to give you a face for that. One of the fundamental principles in statistics that we teach is to not use numbers outside their context. Ultimately, that lesson is of the utmost importance, and it is what went wrong in the metrics developed by the senior leadership at UNL. Those metrics were developed to compare the performance of a unit within its discipline. They were not developed to have departments be pit against each other. Using these ill-conceived metrics, top-ranked departments are slated for elimination. Please refer to the figure that I handed out. You can see the corrected standing of departmental rankings within their national peers, difference between SRI and SRI percentile. Not a big difference, but it's important. Using metrics with obvious biases means that the proposal led to this proposal. It damages the reputation of UNL and with it the Nebraska system. Going through with the proposed eliminations will reduce the options for students, lead to brain drain from the state, and ultimately damage the economy of Nebraskans. I urge you, please stop this process now. At the minimum, if budget reductions have to be done, involve statisticians in the process. It's the Nebraskan people deserve nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan Vanderplas, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Susan Vanderplas. I'm an associate professor in the statistics department, and I've been at UNL since 2020. I teach statistical computing, and I serve on the Faculty Senate Executive Committee. I've had concerns with the speed of the budget process since the timeline was announced in August. When the statistics department was proposed for elimination, I began trying to understand why the data-driven method used by senior leadership resulted in my department being poorly ranked. This analysis would fail the standards that I set for my students across multiple dimensions. My colleagues have highlighted some of the problems: the inaccurate and out-of-date data, faulty statistical methods, a failure to consider the real-world context of the data. Ultimately, the physics department and the English department do not compete for the same grant funding. They publish the results of their research in different ways. And comparing the English department to community planning or architecture in teaching makes no sense because one provides large service classes and the other doesn't. Chancellor Bennett insists that he's following the process outlined in APC procedures. I agree that APC is ensuring that the process is followed now that the ball is in their court. But problems with the process occurred before APC was involved. Ultimately, to eliminate departments, the process must be fair, accurate, and transparent. And the data and analysis used here has flaws in all of these areas. Departments have not been provided with sufficient information to allow them to identify or correct flawed data, and we've been locked out of data about our departments, which could help us correct that record. In this week's hearings, Josh Davis, the Assistant Chancellor, claims to have used industry best practices to evaluate departments. This is categorically false, because both the data and the analysis are fundamentally flawed. I am concerned that the use of this analysis to terminate departments might lead to successful wrongful termination suits and erase any of the budget savings produced from the reduction process. I urge you, Regents, President Gold, Chancellor Bennett, to stop the current process. Consult with external certified professional statisticians before coming up with a new budget reduction plan. Using this faulty data and faulty methodology leads to faulty conclusions that will cost UNL dearly. Simply proposing to cut the statistics department has already damaged UNL's reputation as a major research university. It's just a proposal, right? Actually cutting the department will pose a serious threat to the reputation and the ability to rejoin the AAU. Moreover, because statistics and data science are very in demand, eliminating these programs will hurt the Nebraska information and digital agriculture economy, contribute to brain drain, and threaten the research engine at UNL that is central to our standing in the Big Ten. As a state, we can't afford to eliminate statistics programs because the
Thank you for
university
your
administration-
comments. Your 3 minutes are up. Thank you.